In the heart of Auckland, there is a small shop making a big difference. Tucked away on a quiet street, it may look like a bookstore, but for many, it's something more. It's a space for learning, a space for connection, and a space where identity is nurtured, one book at a time. Introducing My Little Library.
A great place to start is maybe introduce yourselves, who you are, a bit of background as to, where you've come from. You shared a bit about your family, and maybe you could do the same, Taslim. So go for it. Let's hear from you.
Okay, so my name is Saadiyah, and I am a mother to a 5-year-old. Before My Little Library, I was teaching, so I'm a primary school teacher. Have taught in New Zealand and also in Doha. Yeah, I'm a Kiwi, 4th generation Kiwi, and yeah, that's a bit about me.
MashaAllah. What about you, Taslim?
Born in Fiji, but been in New Zealand since 1987, so been a while, alhamdulillah. I work in the finance space, been working at Spark for the last 8 or 9 years now, so alhamdulillah, it's been, really good.
Tell us about the why. How did this all get started? Give us the story from the very beginning, if you don't mind.
So we had our daughter during a lockdown, and we were looking for Islamic-based books that had, books that taught Islam, but also had characters that looked like our daughter, celebrated things that we celebrate as Muslims. No one was selling it here, and no one was traveling, and so the closest we could get it from was from Australia. But the shipping cost more than the books itself. So I told Taslim, I'm like, okay, if we have this issue, surely other people are struggling as well. And his answer was, no, I think it's just you. So then I'm like, oh, okay. So then I kind of let it go for a little while. Then one day, randomly out of the blue, he's like, oh, why don't we get some shelves made up in the attic? And I'm like, for what? And he's like, for your books, for your bookstore, And I'm like, oh, so we can go ahead with the idea. And he's like, yeah, let's give it a go. If we don't give it a go, then we're never going to know. And so from there, we started with, initially it was just going to be kids' books. I think we bought maybe like a range of 10 kind of different books.
$1,000 worth of books from Canada was our first order.
Yeah, that was actually. I forgot that.
Bookshelf.
Yeah, Riccardo's Bookshelf. Yeah. And so we got that, and then we ordered some other books from UK, and then we put it out. I think at that point, we had then come out of lockdown because we had done all this planning, and then like a week later, there was supposed to be this market. And so my sister-in-law said, why don't you give the market a go? And I'm like, I don't know, like I've never done this before. She's like, well, give it a go and see. So we got a big banner printed out, we got a table. I actually remember the night before at home setting up how we'd do the table, like have the table set up, and I took a photo so I knew exactly where everything was going to go. And in my head, I imagined no one coming, to my stall. Yeah. We went, we set up, and alhamdulillah, that day was really good. Everyone that came by was like, this is what we've been looking for. And so it just reassured me that, this could be something. One of our first customers was a young girl whose name was Yasmin. And we had a book called Yasmin's Belly Button. And I remember Taslim got the book and showed her the book. Yeah. And she was so happy to see her name on the book. And I'm like, this is what this is about. Being able to have a book where your name's on the cover, it's a little girl that looks like you. It helps our children, know that they belong in this world, if you can see yourself in a book.
The name, My Little Library, how did you come up with the name?
Well, this was going to be our little library, but the idea was that you would come in here or buy online, and create your own little library at home. So that's what's called My Little Library. So it's not only our little library, it's also your little library. So that's how the name came about.
I'll tell you what, I've got some few books from you. I had to go buy a specific cubicle. So I've got My Little Library at home. So you're absolutely right. So you've certainly, you achieved that. Well done, mashallah. Well done.
But behind every space built with purpose, there are challenges we don't always see. The long days, the uncertainty, the quiet moments of doubt. Because building something meaningful is never easy.
when it comes to anything that we do in the service of the deen, or when we're trying to get close to Allah, I think it goes back to that hadith where tie the camel, don't just leave it running around. And you guys have certainly done that. You've tied the camel, you've tried to create something, and you've basically surrendered to the fact that Allah will take care of the rest. And of course, there's going to be some challenges along the way. Do you want to maybe speak to that? What are some of the biggest challenges you've had? Because this could not have just been an easy road. It's the first of its kind, I believe. So it couldn't have just been smooth sailing. So maybe speak to some of the challenges that you've had along the way.
Apart from the economy itself, over the last couple of years, it's been a challenge for everyone involved. All small businesses are struggling right now, and we're not immune to that whatsoever. So that's probably one of the issues that we've had. But in terms of the challenges we have being a business in New Zealand where all of our products are literally from overseas. So we've got a handful of products that are local, but apart from that, nearly all of our other products are from either the UK, America, Indonesia, Malaysia, India, Canada.
The Emirates.
So the shipping cost is just horrendous, and being able to keep our products affordable for our community is probably the hardest thing for us. And at the same time, being a viable business. Obviously, we want to be here a long time. So we need to be able to still be commercially viable, but at the same time, not price ourselves out of the market so that people who we want to serve in the community can't actually come and enjoy our products. So that's probably been the biggest balancing act, and we've learnt. I mean, like, there's been products that we've bought in which just haven't gone because it's just too expensive. And we've had to kind of adjust our pricing or figure out actually that product doesn't necessarily resonate with the people in New Zealand. We did really well the prior 12 months when we first opened the store. Alhamdulillah, we saw amazing kind of growth in our space. Over the last 12 months, it's been a lot more difficult, but alhamdulillah, we're still, we're doing what we can. So yeah, we're all good.
If you look at the scholars of the past, books were their obsession. They were completely immersed in Islamic knowledge, but not only Islamic knowledge. If you look at some of the major influences of the world, whether it was to do with history or geography or mathematics, they have got an Islamic identity. It's rooted in their Islamic identity. And I think what this encourages certainly is for us to continue to read, continue to, be interested in subjects that we maybe wouldn't have been interested in. And also for our children, encourage them to continue to read. Do you see that as a challenge? I mean, children maybe not reading as much as they used to. I mean, what's your thoughts and opinions around that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like, we have parents come in, like, we'll be at a market or Eid Day or something like that, and people are like, oh yeah, my kids don't read. And we're like, okay, fair enough. I mean, like, obviously it's, in this day and age, like, kids are more geared towards the iPad or whatever. But I think the responsibility lies upon us to educate our own kids and kind of encourage them to be like, hey, there's more to, the world than just a game on an iPad or that kind of stuff. That continuous education is what's going to make us a better Muslim. I mean, when I was growing up in New Zealand and going to madrasas, we had none of this. No, I mean, our books were so plain and simple. It was black and white, literally, it was hard to read. But now we've got so many different resources that help learn how to, whether it's to learn the Qaeda, read the Quran, or just learn stories about their prophets and
or just value-based books as well. But I think as a Muslim community in general, like globally, we've lifted up our game in terms of the quality of books. Because I remember I've still got the books that my parents brought back from the UK when I was younger. When I look at them now, I'm like, yeah, I don't think my daughter would like read them. They're just completely different. Like the quality of books now is amazing. Like, and but it's not only for our kids. Like, we have schools in Auckland have bought our books, and there's a public schools and
not necessarily Muslim schools.
And not even Muslim schools, And so just like normalizing a girl with hijab on the cover, or the Planet Umar books, like anyone can read that. You don't have to be Muslim. And so just like it doesn't only have to be for our kids. And some of our customers also are not a non-Muslim that come buy books because it might just be good values. Yeah.
What began as a simple search slowly grew into something much bigger, because this wasn't about just filling shelves. It was about filling a gap. And that gap was felt by an entire community.
You guys have made a conscious decision as a business to donate a portion of every sale, I believe, to charity. Mashallah, what an awesome, I guess, initiative or an idea to have. And just based on the current economic climate, that's not an easy thing to do. Maybe speak to that, some of the work that you're doing in that space and I guess the inspiration behind it.
That was one of the kind of niyat we made when we first started the business. So from the get-go, before that first market, we kind of said, at that time, I don't think we'd decided what percentage we would donate, but we said, whatever profit we make out of this, every month we'll donate a certain portion to charities within New Zealand, overseas, or whatever. So that's something that we've, alhamdulillah, been able to continue to, it's 4.5 years down the line now. So alhamdulillah, every month we continuously do that. I think it's just a way for us to give back.
Yeah, so I guess our duty as Muslims, like giving sadaqah, it's not, I feel like it's, because we made that intention at the beginning, it's not our money to keep, it's just to give. And we don't even think, oh my goodness, I've given this much, when you give, Allah gives you even more. So the barakah that comes with giving sadaqah.
Yeah, mashallah. And in addition to, I guess, the donations, or I guess the charity, the sadaqah that you're doing, there's so much outreach initiatives that's coming out of your store. I mean, speak to some of the workshops. You've got a book club that you were talking about as well. The after school program, holiday program.
School holiday program, yeah.
These are amazing things, and all of this coming out of your little store, which is fantastic. I mean, tell us about that. Tell us about, why is community so important to you, and what about all of that? What's the why behind the workshops, etc.?
Connection to people in our community, and for myself, growing up, wanting to find people that had similar interests, or even were wanting to grow in their faith, and just finding a sisterhood or just a community. And so that's how initially the first thing that we had was the book club. And there was when I had advertised it, there was quite a demand for it, and we've just grown over time. And it's just really nice because the sisters that are in the book club, it is we're sisters, because we see each other every month, and during Ramadan, we're encouraging each other, or during any difficult moments, it's you have those sisters to kind of go back to. So, and then from that, it's just grown, because then we're let's have a journaling club. And with the school holiday program, I wanted to be able to combine as a teacher, because when children go to school, learning is fun. And sometimes when we learn about Islam, it can be a little bit dry, or quite strict, this is how you learn, and so I wanted to be able to combine fun learning, using crafts with Islam, and so that's how the school holiday program happened.
Is there anything that's maybe come out of those sessions that you've maybe found inspiring? I know that the space itself has been more than just books. It's also been a space where people have come in here when you would probably have least expected. They've come in with a story of their own, or they've picked up a book, they've been inspired by something that they may have read, and they've returned back to probably reveal something that you would have at least expected. Do you want to maybe speak to some of those scenarios? I mean, we don't have to mention names of these people, but maybe speak to some of those examples, because they've been incredibly inspiring to me.
It's probably about 1.5 years ago now. Elderly European lady, probably in her 70s odd. She came in one day. It was quite busy that day. It was around about the Ramadan period, or maybe just after Ramadan. And she came in, and I asked her if she was after anything. She's like, "Oh, I just want to. Have you got a Quran?" So yep. Gave her English translation. She went away. Came back a couple of weeks later when Saadiyah was in store, and then she asked Saadiyah, "Oh, how do I pray?" And that got them talking. And then, long story short, Saadiyah connected her with some people at the North Shore Islamic Association, some of the ladies there. Those people, connected with this lady, and you know, within a couple of months, she reverted. She did Umrah last year, alhamdulillah. Her husband, who himself elderly, has come into the store and has told us he hasn't seen her this happy in years. He's not Muslim himself at this stage, but just seeing her becoming Muslim and, you know, her life changing in such a way has made him happy. So alhamdulillah, I mean, like, it's just that's one story that we constantly share with our customers, because, you know, Allah leads who He wishes, and alhamdulillah, you know, this sister has been led to Islam, and now I understand she's going halakha classes on Friday nights as well sometimes. So she's like really into the community and learning. Yeah, it's been amazing.
It just reminded me of there's an elderly uncle who also lives on the North Shore, doesn't drive, but takes 2 buses to get here. He hasn't come in a while, but he was coming like every month before.
At least twice a month.
Yeah, would take the 2 buses, would come here, would look around, sit
right here,
like for an hour or so, have a conversation, buy some books, and then take the 2 buses back. And yeah, it used to be like, just to think like, and he used to not only like take 2 buses, he used to walk Queen Street, like from one end of Queen Street to the other. Yeah, so it's been really special to be able to connect with people like that.
Often we look at our masajids and think that is the one and only way that someone can maybe find out about Islam, or they've got access to Islam through an imam or scholar. But you certainly showcase that through a bookstore. Allah creates barakah in that as well.
The impact of My Little Library doesn't end when you leave the store. With every book purchased, every conversation shared, and every person inspired, something continues to grow. A sense of belonging, a stronger community, a future rooted in purpose.
What does the future look like for My Little Library? What's your vision for My Little Library?
So what we want is a space where we have all our products, a bigger range of products, but also have a designated space where workshops can happen, people can use the space, and a coffee shop as well.
Coffee shop and cafe, inshallah. Yeah.
So make
like
your drawers.
A real hub for us, inshallah, for the community, where we can have those breakout spaces for people to come and do workshops, meetings, whatever they want to do. Have that space to do that. Have a little cafe and coffee shop with the books. That's our dream.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
That's amazing, mashallah. May Allah make it such that that dream is realized. But obviously you need the support of every single New Zealander. And I think what you guys are doing is, I think that you are making, his legacy proud, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is something that I think is aligned with the Sunnah. It is something that is benefiting the Ummah. So I guess the dua that I make for you, your family and your business is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to honor you in this world and the next. May He place barakah in all that you do. And at the end of the day, all of us want one thing, and that is our book of deeds in our right hand. And we want our eyes to be cooled by the sight of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So on behalf of the Minara Media team, that is the dua that we make for you and your family. May it be such that it's not only now, but from now up to the end of time. So we appreciate you. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Ameen.
What started as a small idea has become something far greater than a bookstore. It's a reminder that representation matters, that knowledge matters, and that even the smallest spaces can create a lasting change. Sometimes all it takes is one store to shape a life.
My name's Taslim Bhamji.
Saadiyah, Musa,
and I am Muslim.